Look at the switch to Monk on Reeves. Pocket pass, Ayton down.
Deandre Ayton is scary when he plays like this, and JJ Redick absolutely loved it. Because this wasn't just a solid game, it was a statement. After months of people questioning his motor, his focus, and even his desire to dominate, Ayton finally reminded everyone what kind of monster he can be when he locks in on both ends. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into why Deandre Ayton's recent performance wasn't just impressive. It was terrifying. If you're a basketball fan, especially a Lakers or Ayton supporter, make sure to hit that like button and drop your thoughts below, because this version of Ayton, this is the one JJ Redick's been waiting for. From the very first possession, you could feel it. Ayton wasn't floating around like a background piece. He was hunting matchups. He got the ball in the paint, backed down DeMar DeRozan, and bullied his way to an easy bucket. That set the tone. Moments later, on the other end, he switched on to Domantas Sabonis, one of the craftiest bigs in the league, and clamped him down. No space, no rhythm, just physical, disciplined defense. This wasn't lazy, wandering Ayton. This was a locked-in, relentless version, running the floor, protecting the rim, and setting brutal screens for Austin Reeves. He was everywhere. And for the first time in a long time, it felt like Ayton was dictating the game, not reacting to it. JJ Redick said after the game, "Ayton was great. His patience for the game was really good." That might sound like a simple quote, but it says a lot. It means Ayton finally played in control, not rushing, not forcing, just trusting the rhythm. Let's be honest, nobody ever doubted Ayton's skill. He's got touch around the rim, elite footwork, and a jumper smoother than most bigs his size. The problem has always been effort, the body language, the inconsistency. One night he looks like a superstar, the next he disappears. But this game, this was different. Every time the team needed energy, Ayton delivered. When Reeves got doubled, Ayton read it perfectly, slipping the screen, catching the ball on the roll, and slamming it down. He was making the right decisions, and he wasn't just scoring, he was doing the little things that win games, boxing out, rotating early, communicating on defense. He finished with 13 points. Not a crazy stat line, but incredibly efficient. Every shot mattered. Every play had intent. That's what JJ Redick meant when he praised Ayton's patience. It wasn't about volume, it was about value. One of the biggest takeaways from this game was the chemistry between Ayton and Austin Reeves. Reeves was cooking all night, hitting jumpers and forcing defenders to collapse on him. Every time the defense sent help, Ayton slipped perfectly into open space. He was reading the floor like a veteran point guard. You could see the connection forming. Screen, roll, dunk, screen, pop, mid-range jumper. That's what modern big man basketball looks like. Not just power, but timing. And the best part? Ayton was embracing the dirty work, setting solid screens, absorbing contact, keeping the lane open. He wasn't chasing highlights, he was making his teammates better. But let's talk about the defense, because that's where Ayton looked completely different. There was this one sequence that summed it all up. Reeves and Ayton tried a handoff, the ball got fumbled, and Zach LaVine sprinted the other way on a fast break. Old Ayton might have slowed up or complained, but not this version. He turned on the jets, chased LaVine down, and blocked his shot off the glass. A full-court sprint. Pure effort play. The kind of hustle that coaches dream about. That single moment got the bench on their feet. Because when your 7-footer is sprinting back to erase mistakes, it sets the tone for the entire team. And Ayton didn't stop there. He was intercepting passes, contesting mid-range shots, forcing Sabonis into awkward hooks, and grabbing tough rebounds in traffic. Even when he missed shots, he didn't check out. He followed his own miss, grabbed the rebound, and dunked it home. He was doing all the dirty work that doesn't always show up in highlight reels, but it changes games. There was a moment late in the fourth quarter that really showed Ayton's growth. With under a minute to go, Zach LaVine pulled up for a jumper. Ayton contested perfectly, forcing a miss. Then, instead of standing still, he crashed the offensive glass on the next possession, grabbed a massive rebound, and kept the play alive. The refs initially called a shot clock violation, but replay showed the ball had touched the rim, thanks to Ayton's hustle. The clock reset, the team got another chance, and they closed out the game. Those are the kind of plays that define winners. Not the flashy ones, but the gritty, hustle-filled moments that swing momentum. That's why JJ Redick was so animated in his post-game comments, because Ayton wasn't just productive. He was invested. He was giving maximum effort on every possession, even the ones that didn't end in points. When JJ Redick took over, everyone wondered how a former shooter would handle big man development. But Redick's philosophy is clear: structure, trust, and accountability. And Ayton is finally buying in. Redick said, "He let the offense come to him." That's exactly what great centers do. They don't force shots or clog the lane. They move within the system, finding space when the ball finds them. Redick wants Ayton to be the anchor, both defensively and offensively. A screen-and-roll weapon who can space the floor, guard multiple positions, and communicate like a leader. This game showed exactly why Redick believes in him. When Ayton plays with that blend of control and intensity, he elevates everyone else. He doesn't need 30 points. His presence alone changes the game. You can tell there's been a mental shift in Ayton's game. Before, when he'd miss a few shots or get subbed out early, you could see his body language drop. But now, he looks calm, focused, patient. He's starting to understand that dominance isn't about scoring every possession. It's about impacting every possession. He's not pouting when he doesn't get touches. He's fighting for rebounds, sprinting back on defense, and staying engaged. That's the maturity JJ Redick has been pushing for. And it's exactly what makes this version of Ayton so dangerous. When Ayton plays with energy, everything changes. The guards move more confidently because they know screens will connect. The wings crash harder because they know Ayton's got their back on defense. The entire team's rhythm improves. It's contagious. You could feel the bench energy, the crowd reaction, even the commentators feeding off his intensity. And that's the difference between a talented player and a leader. Leaders don't just put up stats. They shift the energy of the entire building. When Ayton's active, the offense flows smoother, the defense rotates cleaner, and the team feels unbeatable. That's what Redick's been trying to unleash. And this game proved it's working. Why the league should be worried. If this version of Deandre Ayton sticks around, the rest of the league should be nervous. Because we're not talking about a one-dimensional big. We're talking about a 7-footer who can protect the rim, run the floor, hit mid-range jumpers, and finish through contact. Add consistent effort and defensive awareness to that mix, and you've got a nightmare matchup. Ayton doesn't have to become a 25-point scorer to be elite. If he can give this kind of energy every night, 13 to 18 points, 10 rebounds, elite defense, smart screens, he'll be one of the most valuable bigs in the game. That's what JJ Redick sees. That's why he's excited, because for the first time, Ayton looks ready to be more than a highlight player. He looks ready to be a winner. Every athlete hits that point in their career when talent isn't enough anymore, when they have to decide, am I just going to play or am I going to dominate? This game felt like that turning point for Deandre Ayton. He's been doubted, he's been traded, he's been criticized by fans and analysts who expected more. But this version of Ayton, the one who hustles, defends, and leads, silences all that noise. This isn't about revenge or proving people wrong anymore. It's about proving himself right. When he plays with this kind of determination, he doesn't just look like a good center, he looks like the kind of player who can define a team's identity. Deandre Ayton showed everyone that night exactly what he's capable of. He was dominant without being selfish, efficient without forcing shots, and disciplined without losing aggression. That's a rare balance, and it's why JJ Redick loved every second of it. If Ayton can keep stacking games like this, there's no limit to how far he can go. He doesn't need to be the loudest guy on the court. He just needs to keep being the hardest worker. Because when Deandre Ayton plays with this energy, this confidence, and this control, he's not just another center. He's a force. He's the anchor every coach dreams of. And yeah, he's scary. So, what do you think? Is this the new and improved Deandre Ayton we've all been waiting for? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest stories in basketball. Because one thing's for sure, if Ayton keeps playing like this, the NBA isn't ready for what's coming next.